All right, here I am on Aussie Swiss. This trade was taken on the 10th, which was a Tuesday. It's a little bit higher time frame. It's more a 4-hour, 1 hour with 15 as a precision. So what I'm looking at here is we had this downtrend coming in. Then we had this uptrend coming in, taking out the guy who started. On this one, took him out. So one thing I do notice on this, we have a volume here, high volume spike that went to the upside, pull back, and then a break to the upside, went higher high, with also another volume right here on the way up, so that's good. And so when I came into it, I saw this pulling back right here with increasing volume area. So we had a high volume break, low volume pullback, getting into this area. And on the 4 hours, you can see when this pushed up, tested these highs, this big guy that pushed down here, there was none of that. Just real weak and choppy coming down. And then that volume on the break side gave me clarification that this was more than likely going to go up for even a higher run. If you look at all this choppiness right here, you can see that we kind of stalled, pulled back, and then he pushed down, and then this could have gotten sellers involved, especially this right here at this support resistance. So sellers could have came in and then got trapped. So this whole area was a trapped area that we were coming into in New York with increase in volume. If I drop down to my hourly, we can see that right around this area was a New York open-ish time. So we have this low volume pullback with this high volume push up, and starting to roll over right here. If I go down to my precision time frame around this spot where this volume is starting to increase. Where are we? So here we are on a precision time frame. So the way I saw it was we had this pullback coming in, this last push down, and then he got totally eaten by this guy. Tried here, then got totally eaten. So that left me a trap area in this. So it's kind of two traps. Like I was kind of wondering, did this last guy get trapped, or even I think they still could have tried here from the guy who started this last push down. I think he could have tried. So I kind of had two potential trap areas in the way it was lopsided here. So I was expecting it to at least come back to here. I kind of couldn't figure out where I wanted it. So what I did, I put a sell limit in this area, and as it came back in, it filled me. Stops below this guy, well below this trap. And one thing I noticed, what I did was normally I trade the 1 hour 15 with my 5 as the precision, and I kind of kept that in the back of my head that this was going to take longer to run. And there was some good news in this area. As I'm doing the P, I can't remember what news it was, but I know there was some news in this area. So with that being said, this guy just grinded up pretty slowly, but I knew I had the volumes behind me from the previous push, and from this push, the volumes were looking good for the buy side. And I originally wanted to, let's unhide all this. So here's my guy who started this, here's my guy who started this, and then, like I said, I put my entry around. These were my trap guys. Filled me in, and as it was coming up, I wasn't too worried about this guy because we had already taken him out. This was his, I guess what you could say, primary from this guy pushed down. Couldn't go very far and got eaten up quite quickly. So that gave me hope. I was expecting this to come to this last trap area of the buyers. Push up, big pullback, chop. They tried and then they got taken out. So that was my last trap area, level to level I was trying to get to. But as you can see, this was the close of New York right here. One thing I did, I have stop loss 2 and 3. I started to move my stops in as it went a little bit higher and higher. And I usually don't hold trades through the session end of New York because of the whipsaws that come in the high pip spread. I think it went to around 20 something pip spread and pushed down. So I eventually moved my stops in, and with the pip spread it would have taken me out, but I closed full here. I did see the potential definitely to come up to at least this last trap level. Like I said, it eventually actually pushed higher just with those volumes backing me and everything. I don't trade the London session, so I wasn't around here. Basically, I'm bound to New York. I could trade Asia, but I'm home with the family at that time, so there's not really an option to do that. But one thing I do notice, if I would have kept my stop loss where it was originally, I could have left this running because I didn't have a lot of doubts in this one. Sometimes you take trades and you have doubts that, yeah, this might not work. This one, with the volumes backing me and the way everything was going, I just really believed that it was gonna, at minimum, go back to this trap level, and it performed nicely. So I'll keep that in mind in the future instead of moving my stops in too quickly, because really I should have broke this level and held before I started moving my stops in. But all in all, yeah, it would have performed real nicely. Would have if I would have held on through the session into the next day, could have got 2.75-ish R out of this, or possibly more, but definitely at least that. But I did get profit out of here, so I am happy, and it would have spiked me out when I moved my stops in. So definitely glad I closed before the end of the session. Things to keep in mind, I think that, this was a higher time frame, so my expectations of it to go at least to this level were good. As I was moving my stops, and I dropped down to even lower time frames, which working on trying to stay away from the lower time frames, because that's where I start moving things in and misjudging things. So but all in all, this was a pretty good trade for me. Wish I would have got the rest of it, but yeah, so not a whole lot else I can think of. Volumes, correlation, I'm doing this a few days later. Don't recall if correlation was with me or not. I know I should figure that out before I do my PAs. But I have been consistent on correlation, checking it, making sure that it's definitely not against me. But yeah, this is my trade. Went well, and things are looking up. So all right, if anybody sees anything, feel free to comment. Thanks.